Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for tuning in for another edition of Truth Buster News. I'm your host, CJ, the host and originator of Truth Buster News. Today is November 16th, 2015. And to a lot of us, this is old news. We've been hearing about this for about 3 years now. But it's back in the headlines once again. Over the last couple days. And we keep hearing about it. We hear about it so much that we are blue in the face sick from it. And that is how the GOP, the Rhino Republicans, and the Democrats, the establishment, the New World Order cabal, the swamp, are still pushing efforts to have Donald Trump impeached. Now, whether you voted for him, whether you like him, whether you hate him, whether you think he is a devil himself, there has never been a time in history where this nation did not accept the man chosen to be in the seat of the highest level of government in this land. Not once. He is under constant attack by everybody who hates him. The New World Order media, the Obama leftovers that are stonewalling every decision and plan and agenda he wants to set forth for this nation. It is stonewalled. It is diverted and twisted and manipulated. I mean, that's clearly evident from a video that I just recently uploaded. If you were to go back 8 years ago, almost 9, when that treasonous scumbag Barack Hussein Obama was in power and had the reins in his hand, there was no move or attack like we had to get him removed. There were small talks of impeachment within government, but that's where it was left. Talk. They didn't create articles of impeachment. They didn't subdue his agendas. They let him run rampantly free to do whatever he pleased. How he screwed over the American people. Screwed over other countries. And now, in this day and age, the man that the American people voted for to get in office, to make a true change, is basically standing there with his hands tied. Because every move he tries to make, it is overturned. And what is the grounds of and basis of impeachment that the Democrats are trying to push through that are legal and legitimate, they don't have any. But yet, you have all those people in government still, the leftist, liberal media, Hollywood, universities, the radical left, and the left in period. In many aspects, you could see these individuals as establishment radicals. Because in some areas, they are getting paid to act and say the things they do. They receive bonuses, incentives, things like that. Kick, the pot of gold, if you will. And I thought, okay, what is the grounds that will justify articles of impeachment? So I came across this. And it's from the heritage.org. Standards for impeachment. The President, the Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, and other high crimes and misdemeanors. And that is Article 2, Section 4 of the Bill of Rights. Impeachment is a constitutionally specified means by which an official of the executive or judicial branch may be removed from office or misconduct. There has been considerable controversy about what constitutes an impeachable offense. At the Constitutional Convention, the delegates early on voted for malpractice and negligence of duty as grounds for impeachment. But the Committee of Detail narrowed the basis to treason, bribery, and corruption. Then deleting the last point, George Mason, who wanted the grounds much broader and similar to the earlier formulation, suggesting maladministration. But James Madison pointed out this would destroy the president's independence and make him dependent on the Senate. Mason then suggested high crimes and misdemeanors, which the convention accepted. So, in order for the president to be impeached, they have to be tried and convicted of committing acts of bribery, treason, and other high crimes. The Democrats don't have a leg to stand on in this fight, because Donald Trump has not committed any of the crimes I just listed right there. All you hear about is how Russia meddled in the primary for Trump, and how they were involved, and how they involved in the entire Trump campaign. Over and over and over and over. And without a shred of evidence or proof, they keep pushing that same bullshit line over. You can't flip on a news channel at all without at least hearing about it at least once. And we've been hearing about this for 2 years now, going on 3, ever since he entered the race and was gaining momentum and speed in 2015. Then they started rolling it out, little by little, and they came more and more and more. And they say constantly how Donald Trump has ties to Russia. And there is nothing, absolutely, positively nothing that connect Trump and Russia. So much so that in the fall of this year, the heads of the Department of Homeland Security, the National Security Agency, and the CIA had public committees and press conferences, and all said there is not enough proof or any proof that will connect Donald Trump to Russia. Nothing. On the other hand, the ones that do have a strong tie and deep searing relationship with Russia is the Democrat Party. And this came from Forbes. It was published February 18th, 2017. No one mentions that the Russian trail leads to Democratic lobbyists. K Street lobbyists are the symbol of Washington's influence peddling as they push government favors, subsidies, exemptions, and other special treatment for their clients. Their customers include addiction to domestic clients, foreign governments, oligarchs, fugitive speculators, and a rogues gallery of questionable figures. Washington lobbyists trade on their access to power. Many are former administration officials or members of Congress. If Trump fulfills his promise to drain the swamp, these influence peddlers will have nothing to sell. They are under attack. The media has focused not on K Street, but on the Russian ties of President Donald Trump's associates. They list the reprehensible Kremlin-associated figures for whom members of his inner circle worked. The most being Viktor Yanukovych. The deposed president of Ukraine and fugitive oligarch Dmitry Medvedev. But both these repulsive figures were also advised by Democratic top dogs who likely earned large multiples what if the small fry Trump associates took home. In pushing this maturing candidate Trump narrative, the media failed to mention the much deeper ties of the Democratic lobbyists to Russia. Don't worry, the media seems to say even though they are representing Russia, the lobbyists are good, upstanding citizens. Not like the Trump people. They can be trusted with such delicate matters. The media targeted former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort for consulting with deposed Ukrainian President Yanukovych's party of the regions. He also worked for billionaire oligarch Rothschild, who stands accused of skimming billions in the Ukrainian gas trade, in league with Russian oligarchs. The media also singled out Trump's former national security advisor Michael Flynn for attending a dinner with Putin and appearing on Russia's foreign propaganda news network RT. Trump's own Russian ties are the subject of intense media coverage and an unverified opposition research report, purportedly prepared by an ex-British spy who remains in hiding. It seems no enterprising reporter has tried to find him. The media's focus on Trump's Russian connections ignores the much more extensive and lucrative business relationships of the top Democrats with the Kremlin-associated oligarchs and companies. Thanks to the Panama Papers, we know that the Podesta Group, founded by John Podesta's brother, Toby, lobbied for Russia's largest bank, Sberbank. Sberbank is the Kremlin. They don't do anything major without Putin's go-ahead, and if they don't tell him, no either explain a retired U.S. senior intelligence official, according to Reuters report. Tony Podesta was among the high-profile lobbyists registered to represent organizations backing Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych. Among these was the European Center, which paid Podesta $900,000 for his lobbying. That's not all. The busy Podesta Group also represented Uranium One, a uranium company acquired by the Russian government, which received approval from Hillary Clinton's State Department to mine for uranium in the U.S. and gave Russia 20% control of its U.S. uranium. The New York Times reported Uranium One's chairman, Frank Gustera, made significant donations to the Clinton Foundation. Bill Clinton was paid $500,000 for one speech from a Russian investment bank that has links to the Kremlin that was promoting Uranium One stock. Notably, Frank Gustera, the Clinton Foundation's largest and most controversial donor, does not appear anywhere in the Clintons' non-private emails. It is possible that the emails of such key donors were automatically scrubbed to protect the Clinton Foundation. Let's not leave out the fugitive Ukrainian oligarch Dmitry Firtash. He is represented by Democratic heavyweight lawyer Lanny Davis, who accused Trump of inviting Putin to commit espionage. Trump's quip: if Putin has Hillary's emails, release them, but denies all wrongdoing by Hillary. That's still not all. Representative John Conyers, Democrat of Michigan, read Kremlin propaganda into the congressional record, referring to Ukrainian militia as repulsive neo-Nazis and denying Ukrainian forces main-pad weapons. Conyers' floor speech was surely a noticeable success of some Kremlin lobbyists. Lobbying for Russia is a bipartisan activity. Gazprombank GPB, a subsidiary of Russia's third-largest bank. Gazprombank is represented by former Senator John Burrow, Democrat of Louisiana, and former Senate Majority Leader Trent Lott, Republican, Mississippi, as main lobbyists on banking laws and regulations, including applicable sanctions. The Burrow-Lott client is currently in the Treasury Department list of Russian firms prohibited from debt financing with U.S. banks. In his February 16th press conference, President Trump declared, in response to the intensified media drumbeat on his Russian connections, "I haven't done anything for Russia." K Street lobbyists, on the other hand, have done a lot to help Russia. They greased the skids for a strategic deal that acquired the Secretary of State's approval, that multiplied the Kremlin's command of world uranium supplies. They likely prevented the shipment of strategic weapons needed by Ukraine to repulse well-armed pro-Russian forces. A fugitive billionaire who robbed the Ukrainian people for billions is represented by one of the establishment's most connected lawyers. Gazprombank hired Burrow and Lott to gain repeal of sanctions. That's perfectly fine in Washington. They're playing according to established swamp rules. In their tailored suits and fine DC restaurants, General Flynn lost his job when the subject of sanctions was mentioned by the Russian ambassador in their telephone conversation. But that's the way the media in Washington play. No wonder that Trump's drain the swamp and anti-media messages resonate so well with mainstream America. So I just listed some key evidence right there. Specifically, that's just one. There's multiple reports of Democrat ties with Russia over a decade, even longer. The ones that have committed treason, bribery, and other high crimes that should be held, tried, and charged is the Democrat Party. Of course, the rhino establishment on both sides, Republican and Democrat. But as far as the president goes, Barack Obama. Because he was well aware of all this. He knew exactly what was going on the entire time he was in office. And yet, the establishment keeps rolling on and on. Impeach Trump. He's connected to Russia. Let's get rid of him. They've gone so far to even threaten his life and the life of his family. Did we ever hear such thing of that happening to Barack Obama? No, nothing. Or Clinton or Bush? No. Nothing. See, they were all forced down the Americans' throat and forcibly, and they were accepted. But in this day and age, our votes counted and got who we wanted in, and he's public enemy number one. So you can see the hypocrisy here. I thought I would cover this topic because I'm so sick and tired of hearing about it. Whether you voted for him or not, he's a president. Get over it. Accept it. Life goes on. I want to thank you for tuning in. So you know they're going to have some tricks up their sleeves, regardless. And what is a major factor end result of Trump getting impeached? There will be a civil war that is going to kick off in this nation. And that is exactly what they want. That's part of the agenda of why they keep pushing it. Because they established the New World Order, the deep state, the shadow government, know that they got to play it against it so that we're the ones who will throw the first blow. So when it does happen, beforehand, just be prepared. Have everything you need ready. Because you never know. You could wake up tomorrow and see mass chaos and destruction in the area which you live. I want to thank you for tuning in. God bless. Be safe. And survive another day in this Matrix-based reality. Carry on.